Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Mike Heard with the Word. I actually thought about changing that because it sounds very preacherish. And we all know I am not preaching at this season of my life. But welcome back to another episode. I am super excited to have someone who I believe is a leader in our community, not just here in Atlanta, but I think all over the country. Before we even started our interview today, I shared with him how he has inspired my life way before I even got a chance to meet him. And I'm super excited to have you here as a guest. I have been a fan of yours for a minute. Yeah. And so to have you here and to have you on the show means a lot to me. So thank you so much for coming, Mr. Larry Phylle Carter. How you doing, man?
Good. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, man.
All of your kind words, I am grateful and humbled by.
Oh, that's real, bro. It's real. You have had such a major impact. I'll share this. I was saying before we started the interview, when he and his husband got married, I was so inspired. And I'm going to tell you why. Like, really, we were laughing about it earlier, but I'm going to tell you the real reason why. I was in ministry at the time. And although I was very untraditional in my ministry because I was openly gay or whatever I was saying that I was at that time, because pansexual was not a word back then that I knew of. And so I was openly gay, and I had a partner, and I wanted to be the type of dude to present the type of image that I'm doing everything that I possibly could to live the best life possible. And when I saw how you and your husband went to DC and you all got married, and I remember, I think it was on the news or something, that inspired me so much. I was like, oh my God, like these are two, very handsome, professional, black gay men. And I'm like, that's what I want. And it wasn't from an evil place. It wasn't from like a place where, I'm jealous. It was like, yo, they showed me I can do this. And when I saw that, that was it for me. And I'm divorced soon today, but no, y'all know me and my ex-husband, we're still very close like family. But I just appreciate you, man. You've done a lot. I've seen you as a singer. I've seen you as an actor. You've done a lot. So we're going to talk about your project, and you have a new visual project that just was released. So I'm gonna let you talk, and then I'll ask questions as we go.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and that is really a lot of the work that I do. That is the purpose of being so out front, is because I exist in a safe space. Right. So existing in safe spaces, it's my charge to go into the world and create safe spaces for those who don't. Right. And that was one thing that my mom did say about posting the wedding online. She was just like, people need to see this to see that there are other way, like all the possibilities that are there.
Come through, Mom.
So and even that was further along than where I necessarily was.
Wow.
I was like, people are gonna say crazy things, which they still do. Right. And they always will, and that's you'll have that. But just the positive energy that I've gotten back from people like you is definitely humbling, and it's an honor to know that my walk in life can impact other people in a positive way.
Well, you did. You did. And I remember there was I don't know, I think it was at your reception, and you and your husband were dancing. Man, we tried to recreate all of that. So I was like, how did that even happen? I said, who was their choreographer?
That wasn't planned at all.
I heard that.
It was like...
when you all were on tour, I remember somebody was talking about it. You were like, we didn't even plan that.
That was literally somebody's cell phone catching, because that's what he said. He was like, I want our reception to be like a party.
Right.
And so Red Nose came on. We hadn't even thought I didn't even know he knew the dance. So we started dancing, and that's what came out. And it's like, wow, to see that it resonates with so many people.
Because now we have a whole lot of young black gay couples, getting their project, their receptions choreographed, and you all were
It's
the
amazing.
first. And I'm just being honest. I never saw it before you all. So
it's amazing. I mean, I've seen some amazing weddings.
Yes.
Shout out to all of
Yes.
the people who have gotten married and
Yes.
shared their weddings.
Yes.
Because I know that takes a lot of strength to step forward and put
It does.
yourself out there, because vulnerability is not easy.
Right.
It's definitely not an easy thing, and I feel like over time I've become stronger and able to be more vulnerable. So and that segues into the project,
Yes.
the Worthy Experience,
Yes.
is because it's like that was me being vulnerable as far as like my healing journey to self-acceptance.
Okay.
You know, and the whole idea behind it is like you're born worthy,
Right.
but your interactions with the world teach you otherwise.
Exactly.
You know? So you have to go through these things and really find that turning point where you say, you know what, I'm moving back to my worthiness. I'm going to value myself. I'm going to put myself first.
Yes.
My needs. I'm going to realize that I'm operating out of trauma.
Yes.
And focus on that trauma and figure out how I can know my triggers, understand my triggers, and work through them.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember when I was watching the video, and there was a little boy that plays the younger you, and which was just so cute. And shout out to Q Solomon, who played the father. You did a really, really, really good job. But he's been acting for years. And I remember I was sitting there, because I was watching on the TV, and I was like, man, it's crazy how we come to this earth with so much. And through different facets of life, for me, it was religion that stripped my worthiness away. You know what I mean? And I'm just now learning that. And that's why I thought your project was so dope. Because it really does bring us back to the mindset like, yo, I don't care where you are in life, you are worthy to be everything you're supposed to be. So where did I know from your journey, but when you talk about the video concept, where did that come from? Where did the inspiration for that come from?
I don't even know. This is the first project that I've written and directed myself.
Okay.
This was the first for me. I've been doing the acting stuff for a while, and I just was like, let me just try. It came from my heart, really. Right. I'm thinking as we are in the process of having children, and I just think about all the things.
Well, let's go back. You and your husband are in the process of having.
Yeah, so we
across the room. Yeah. No, y'all won't inspire me on that yet. But
yeah, we're in the surrogacy process.
Awesome.
So like, the whole embryo thing. So. Yeah, I just have been really thinking a lot, and then this year has been a very tumultuous year for everybody.
For everyone,
And I was recording from May until July, and just going in, that was like the height of the unrest, where the marches and,
COVID,
just everything. So I would go into the studio, and I would just be like, what is something I would want my kids to know if I wasn't here? And that's how I came to Worthy. It's like I deal with relationship issues and love and loss, but from a different perspective, of a perspective of healing.
Yes.
And, working through them. And I try to lean more into the discomfort of imperfection that happens in real relationships instead of like storybook, because that's usually what songs give us, is this storybook
fairy tale,
whether it's you broke my heart because you did this or you did that. It's like relationships really don't happen that way. It's like both parties usually play a part, and there's usually some childhood trauma thrown in
that
the
comes
mix.
up. That's right.
That's right. And all of those things happen, and it's like both people are reacting out of their trauma instead of reacting to what's happening really in front of them and being present in the moment.
Wow. I know, that's crazy. I was just saying how it's interesting when in relationships, like when you kind of get into it with your partner, we see that, for me, I see that as a very, very tough, bad thing, because I grew up in a household where my mom did not argue with her husband. She wasn't allowed to argue with her husband. And so I grew up thinking that if we argue, it's over. Like, no, and I'm not talking about like a couple day argument. I'm talking about the moment that voices are raised, it's over. And so I took that type of mentality. My ex-husband's back there shaking his head like that. It's him. But I took that type of mentality into my relationships. And honest to God, the truth is, every relationship I've ever been in, those that you know and those that you don't know, they could have worked. Mm-hmm. It was always me, because I'm the type that once it gets too far from me, I'm just like, done. Instead of looking at it as, what is the universe trying to teach me right now? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think we have not been taught how to interpret our experiences, mm-hmm. like you were just saying, because if we would, I would start seeing arguments as, this is a moment for me to grow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not that I want to say that, but that's the truth.
Yeah. You know, in the song Love Out Loud, it says, we might hurt each other, but we'll never know until we try. And I think that is the thing that people think love is supposed to be easy.
Right.
It's supposed to be effortless.
Right.
And it's not. I always ask people, name one person in your life that you love for a long period of time, that you've never fought with, you've never argued with, you've never had a disagreement with.
Right.
And if that's the case, are you being authentic with that person?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Because it's like, I don't argue with my parents, but you hate going home because mm-hmm. then you have to silence yourself.
Because you're suppressing.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's like, it's not a healthy relationship. You
know
what I'm saying?
That's good.
So it's like just thinking about reality instead of like these picture book perfect romances or family gatherings or whatever. It's like, you know what? It takes pressure to make a diamond.
Right.
And I feel like with meaningful relationships, you grow.
Right.
Growth is uncomfortable, so you're going to be with somebody who's going to push you sometimes in ways that you don't want to be pushed.
Right.
But sometimes you don't realize those things need to change for you to move and elevate to the next level where you actually want to go.
And sometimes we're not self-aware mm-hmm. because our dysfunctions mm-hmm. become norms. Mm-hmm. Even and as a counselor, even in my life, I think sometimes people think that you're a counselor or you some type of leader that you just see everything. You really don't. Mm-hmm. And it's very easy to get caught up in the fact that, oh, that's not me. Mm-hmm. When mm-hmm. really it is, and that's probably why the universe gave you the partner you have, mm-hmm. so that they can be a mirror. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's true.
and help you be able to see that. But that is so true. I love what you said, because I remember I was in Houston with my mom maybe about a week ago, and she was walking down the stairs, and I was about to say something because something happened, and I said, nope, I'm not going to say that. And it wasn't smart, it wasn't ugly, it was just something that should not have happened. And I remember that I looked at my mom, I said, Mom, I said, I love you. I said, but you did not teach us about real relationships. Mm-hmm. I said, because there's things that I want to say that I just feel like I can't, and there's no reason why I can't say it. I'm 40. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And for years, that's how it's been. Suppress, don't say nothing because that's your mama, that's your this or whatever, instead of honestly expressing how you feel the right way. So you're right about that. I definitely see that in myself.
And you said comfort. What comes up from? You said norms.
Yes.
But I think comfort.
Okay.
We find comfort sometimes. I find comfort like in habits, just as
yes. people.
So it's hard to break those habits because even
yes.
though it might not be healthy
yes.
for you, it's still comfortable because you're used to it.
Yes.
And you know the outcome.
Right.
It's predictable.
Right.
So it's like, even if it's a fight where it's like, I'm just going to do this, or I'm going to push his buttons so he can just leave me alone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because people do that.
Right.
Like, that's his button, and the fight might last longer if you don't push the buttons. But if it lasts longer, you might come to a resolution.
Right.
Instead of leaving both angry. You know?
You were listen, I don't know why the universe is letting us talk like this. So it's so crazy because in the past, I think in my past relationship, I've seen that. Like mm-hmm. where we would go going back and forth. But this one, Monty, as soon as I get upset, he's like, I'm like, oh, you're not going to say it? He's like, I love you. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not used to this. And I'm so used to someone saying something so I can say something back. And it's just like he has broken that pattern of what I'm normally used to. Then, of course, as soon as it gets quiet, it makes me have to look at myself and be like, okay, you're doing the most. I hate that. But I realize that is part of my journey and learning how to deal with those relationships. So what type of message outside of people being worthy and learn and sometimes relearning mm-hmm. their identity and who they are.
Mm-hmm.
What other type of message do you want to send from this particular project? Because the visual is amazing.
Thank you.
And it's professional. It looks good. It don't look cheap. This is no shade to nobody. But not everybody that puts out a project is able to make it look as professional. Yours is very, very, very professional.
Thank you. And I'm grateful. I feel like the universe, God,
Mm-hmm.
I had a vision and everything aligned. The videographer actually I got from the producer.
Okay.
Who we were in the studio and he was just like, "Yo, you gotta do some type of visual.
Wow.
People need to see.
Yes.
People need to feel this."
Yes.
And I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, "Here's call my dude. He can get you with whoever you
Wow.
need to be." So he didn't even know where it was gonna go or what it would look like, but he just felt like I should. And shout out to Carl Antoine.
Mm-hmm.
He is like he's an amazing spirit and energy. Healing is what I want to put out there. It's just healing overall, whether it's healing yourself, healing relationships, healing your self-worth, just like whatever it is, heal through that. Following your dreams. I do, like, Dreams is a special song that's on the project to me. And that's one of the, like, After Worthy, that's the first song that plays in the visual. Because I wanted to have that representation of, like, everybody has a different dream, and sometimes your dreams take you in different directions. Like, with everything. But the trauma that comes from it's like intention and impact are two different things. So you have good intentions, but you have a negative impact and not even realize it.
Larry, you preaching, bro. Come on, Iyanla. No, that is the truth. Because so many people live in that space. And then what I noticed about myself and with others is that then when the communication is cut off, all the good intention can seem like evil until there's a conversation. And most of the time, we have been taught to shut down instead of actually saying, okay, well, let's get to the why. For me, it's not always the what, it's the why. I can't even really process forgiveness with someone until I understand the why. Because I've learned that once you learn why they did it, it helps you to be able to process the actions. You get what I'm saying? And so when you have good intentions and the impact is crazy or challenging, then when there's no communication, it just makes it just that much more difficult.
Well, the dragon that I am currently slaying in my life is not even focusing on the why, because people's actions have everything to do with them and their experience, and a lot of times little to nothing to do with you. And understanding that allows me to give grace to people who do things and say hurtful things. Because
I haven't got there yet, but okay.
I'm working on. It's a journey. It's a journey. But understanding that, so when people say things, say things about me, and sometimes it'll be people who don't even know me who create this vision of who they think I am based off of their experiences, though.
Exactly.
And I can't fault you for your life experiences because that's yours. And it has nothing to do with me. It's not mine to fix. It's not mine to do anything with. But just I can acknowledge it and be like, oh, I'm sorry to hear you feel that way. If you want to know more about who I really am, that's fine. But a lot of times, people might not be in the space to receive that.
Very true.
So they want to stay in
especially if they're hurt.
And it stems from trauma.
It does.
And understanding that, like, I've had a traumatic life.
Which, it might not. Knowing you today, you would thought you grew up with a silver spoon. So I get that.
I was shot in both of my legs when I was 19.
Whoa. So now, Larry, I've known you personally now for a couple years. I never knew that.
I know, and a lot of people don't, but it's like, because I don't walk around looking like what I've been through, because the grace that I'm surrounded with And like I said, I live in a safe space. So these traumatic things can happen to me and I'm still able to walk. I'm still here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that I've just come to grips with is like, my purpose is bigger than me. Mm-hmm. Because if it wasn't, I wouldn't even be here. Like, the doctor told my mom to have an abortion when she was pregnant with me. Right. So when you think about that, like, she risked her life to bring me to life. Right. Been shot, car accidents, all of these different things constantly happening. Right. You have to set those bags down and decide, like Erica said, pack light. Right. Like, what do you want to take with you? What are the lessons? You know, what's being presented to me? Mm-hmm. I'll say, okay, it's like a buffet. I'll take this, this, and this, and I'll just leave the rest for someone else. Right.
Wow. And see, I think these are the type of conversations that I think are important because we as Black men, we don't have enough of these conversations because most of us are not able to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. We have guards. We're fearful of what people will think or what people will say. So when I hear you doing a project like Worthy or you talking about dreams and just hearing, I never knew you were shot. Mm-hmm. And I have watched you throughout the years. So for me to see where you are and then to hear what you've been through is such a big encouragement and inspiration, but it's just a big testimony of what will happen when you follow like certain principles. Mm-hmm. I know for me, like when I see a situation, and again, we are all slaying our dragons at this time. For me, I'm still not to the place to where I immediately remember that a person's reaction towards you is just a reflection of themselves. They already have something inwardly going on. But let me tell you something, bro. When your crazy challenges end up crossing with my crazy challenges, my mind doesn't immediately go to, let me give them grace. I was just telling my ex-husband and my future husband in the car today that I feel like I give people too many passes. And now that I'm like popping off, like people are like, oh my God, like what's going on? Like this is not you. But I think because of suppression for so long, you get what I'm saying. Now I know I'm wrong as hell.
It's your journey.
But it's part of my journey and I'm able to be self-aware to say, this is not where I should be. This is not how I should be acting because I need to remember, one, I'm really above all of this. But I think sometimes so what would you say to someone like me who is in a place where we're trying to do better? We want to do better. We have every opportunity to do better, but we're still struggling with those traumas of our past that will keep us from, or that tries to keep us from moving into our most higher self.
I don't know exactly what to say.
Come on, I need you to be the counselor
What
now.
I will say, what I try to do, because I fall short myself, what I try to do is in turn say, I don't need their approval. I don't need you to like me. And that's the thing at the end of the day where you have to realize is like you have amazing people around you who care and love for you. Right. And that's enough. And you're enough. So however the outside world sees you from the glimpses that they see of you, you don't need their approval. If you're doing things that keep the people around you happy and keep you happy, you don't need the approval of the world because you'll never be able to please everybody and you'll drive yourself crazy trying to please everyone. Where
do you think that comes from? Like for me, I have to remind myself of that, right? Okay, so I know that it's taken me 15 years to get to the place to where I'm just now getting over what people think of me. And I don't want to even make it sound like I'm down the road. I'm just now getting there, right? And because before it was so much about me living an image. I need people to see me as a certain thing. Now I'm not so much concerned about people seeing me a certain way because I know what my truth is. But I think I still am concerned on some level of what people feel about me. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to live and lie no more for nobody. Now that test is passed, But I still am in a place to where I'm trying, and I'm being dead ass serious. You being the counselor right now, because this is what your album is about. How do I get past, like, honestly, just saying, you know what? The people that are with me, they're for me, and I need to be for myself and not care. What will be that click, that thing that will make it click, so that when people do say things, I don't respond?
For me, what I do a lot of positive self-talk. And it might sound crazy, but the thing is, like, in my mind, I hear over and over again the things people have said that are negative. You know, so you have to meet those negative things with just as much. It's almost like a compliment sandwich type of thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like you almost have to do more positive than the negative that exists. So reminding yourself of your accomplishments, reminding of yourself the people who love you, reminding yourself of all the things that you've done right, because there's people that's going to point out things you've done wrong, so you don't have to worry about that. But they're going to remind you.
Yeah, they're going to remind you.
In '96, when you wore them purple socks with that orange shirt, nah.
It's so crazy because we were just talking about this. As much as I've grown, I feel, especially when it comes to relationships, because those have been my biggest teachers. Right, my mom literally raised me for ministry. You put me in a church, we'll be great. Outside of them walls, Charlene, you know. So, but as much as I've grown in relationships, and as well as I feel I'm doing now in comparison to previous, I remember I saw something online. Somebody pulled up my last 6 or 7 relationships. I can't remember. And I'm like, y'all had to literally dig for this. So no matter what you do or how positive your life is, people are going to always remind you of where you were or who you used to be. But you're right. You definitely need those positive affirmations and positive words to combat all of the challenging things that come.
It's an app called 5 Journal.
Okay.
That basically it alerts you in the morning. So it's like 3 things I'm going to do to make today great, and then you do an affirmation, and then at the end of the day, it'll come back and say, what were 3 things that were amazing today?
I'm going to get it.
Yeah,
I'm going to get that. What is it called again?
5 Journal.
5 Journal.
And it really helps. I mean, you can write it in a paper if you're, some people need to write in a journal. But like for me, having my phone with me, it's like a reminder to do it because I get busy.
Yeah.
But just keeping your mind focused on the things you have to be grateful, because everything that can go wrong, guess what? All the things that went right for you to get to the point for that thing to go wrong.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to focus on those things so we don't lose them, because that's the world we live in right now. Like you have cancel culture, you have Twitter, you know, you make one mistake and it's all over the place. But you do an authentic, thoughtful, helpful piece, and nobody talks about it. Nobody cares about it. And then everybody's like, we need some real, you know, and that's the thing that's so interesting to me, that people be like, well, why don't people do this and why don't people do that? And then when people do that, you don't give it the same energy you give the negativity that you pass around, or like you'll see on the Shade Room, or you'll see this. You know, the amazing things that people are doing in the world every single day, you don't get to see. But let somebody make a mistake or misspeak or make a face that, you know, they shouldn't have. That's headline news, you know. So you just have to really watch what you're feeding your brain, because, you know, your mind is, you know, over control of all of this. Mind over matter. That's a real thing. Your mind controls the matter of your body.
That is so true.
You know?
I was thinking about that yesterday when I think her name is Rashida Jones. Rashida Johnson. I can't remember what her last name is. Rashida Jones. She just became the president of MSNBC. And I was thinking about how that got very little coverage. But the whole Tory Lane and Megan Thee Stallion, we heard about that 20 million times. And that was just another example of what I'm talking about. Or as an example of what you were talking about, when we're talking about people focusing more on the negative and the challenging things. And yes, we have to have those things come to the forefront so we can deal with them. Because, you know, things that are, you know, suppressed, they have to come up. However, it is amazing how we will give more attention to that, I saw maybe 4 or 5 people retweet, and I know I have almost 80,000 followers, and maybe 4 or 5 people retweeted about Rashida Jones. Mm-hmm. But when Megan Thee Stallion was on there, that's all I saw on my timeline. Mm-hmm. So you're 100% correct about that. All right, so we already know you can sing.
Thank you.
I still listen to your music. There's some songs that I'll be listening to when it's time to get it in, because you definitely got those songs.
Like hashtag.
Yeah.
So in a month, hashtag got 500,000 views.
Come through.
But you take something like Worthy,
right?
It's none of that. But you see what I'm saying? Like that's the thing, is like that balance of really finding that balance in life. And for me, I think healing is more important than attention.
I agree.
You know,
because a whole lot of broken people, a whole lot of us who are broken, we get attention, but that does not heal the brokenness within us, which causes us, if we're not careful, to repeat those same patterns. So we know you can sing. I've watched you. I want to say this. I watched you on a tour last year or the year before last, and it was called Love, Sex, and Marriage. And you did an amazing job. I probably went to, oh my God, 10 of the dates, maybe 10 of the dates. And you all traveled this country, and Larry, you did so good. You were believable. The storyline was believable. If you all don't know what Love, Sex, and Marriage is, not only is it a web series, but that you all also have a DVD of the actual play. You all need to order that. The information is on the screen, because that play is really good.
Thank you.
And the story of it was good. Erica was just you all were just so amazing. And I remember there was one scene where I think Bakari was playing. Oh my God, was he playing your security guard or
he was
a record label executive? Something.
Executive.
But it was just at that moment on stage, it was so real and it was so good. Huge shout out to Trey Floyd, who did a great job on that. So they can get they can see you on there. They can also see you on the web series, but you're in other web series. I want people to know what you're doing so that they can follow you.
Yes. So I'm in a reality show that is premiering on Monday here in Atlanta
called Web Life. Right,
yes,
I did see that.
So
is it good?
It is good.
Okay, because most things that are filled with drama, and I don't know you to be full of drama.
I'm not. I'm just not.
I ain't never seen you throw nothing, fight, cuss. Have I ever heard you cuss? Do you cuss, Larry?
I do cuss.
Let us see. No,
I do, just not publicly.
Right, understand. Understand.
Like, it's crazy that you said that, because I don't curse in front of my parents or like my siblings, which is like I feel weird when I do. So it's like it's a mental thing. But anyway, But yes, Web Life, that's coming out.
Right.
What else am I on?
And let's talk about the past show that you were on. We were just talking about it right before we started filming. About him. And you actually played the President of the United States. And another good friend of ours, Alonzo, what's Alonzo's last name? Please forgive me. What? He's going to kill me.
Faison.
Oh, that's right. Faison, right. And so, and
you all say it low, so
right, exactly. Listen,
you didn't get it.
They know I smoke weed. They know I might always be there. But you all did such a good job in that reality. Because that's a series.
Yeah, that's a series.
A scripted series.
That's a scripted series. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Jensen Atwood was also.
That's right.
In that, and
from Noah's Ark. That's right. Wow.
So it was an honor to, like, he's somebody who inspired me, who I watched.
Right.
You know, growing up on Noah's Ark, and then just like to meet and work. So it's just been, it's been amazing.
What else you got going on?
Let's see.
The visual was just released. What day was the visual released?
On December 3rd.
Okay.
So that is on YouTube now. Oh God. So we are working on series. We're working on season 3 of Love, Sex, and Marriage.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And I actually got to write episodes.
Oh.
Also, so like just kind of growing in my artistry.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see.
Wait a minute, Larry. I just remember we did a scene together.
We did, and was it season 2? Season 2.
Something. Let's take a real quick look at the. I just remembered this. And you know what made me remember is when you said you were writing, and someone just reached out to me on Twitter, and it was a clip of me and you talking, and I have it in my phone, and they were like, "Is this you?" So let's take a look at that real quick. Me and Larry in Love, Sex, and Marriage. Yeah. Okay, Derek. Why did you call me?
Why did you give me your number?
Because I thought it would be cute to hear from you.
Cute? I'm not a puppy.
No. More like a dog.
How?
You and your little friends, Rick and Jeremy?
Jeremy is not my boy.
What happened?
He slept with my fiance.
Oh, damn.
It's cool.
But Karma's a bitch.
What you mean?
Did you forget why we broke up?
You left me.
I left you because you slept with my best friend.
Listen, I was wrong for that. I mean, I was childish. But I'm mature now.
I'm sure you are more mature now. But anyway, do you love the new guy?
Ken?
Whatever his name is.
Yeah, I do.
Then why are you here with me?
Because I miss you.
Typical.
What?
Darren, you don't miss me. You feel guilty because you cheated on me, and now you want to see how my life is now that you're no longer a part of it. And you're mad because your ass got cheated on. So you set this up so that we could sleep together so you could get back at Kel.
It's Ken.
Whatever his name is. Darren, go home. Yo, is that him calling you now?
I don't know. I don't recognize the number, but anyway, like, do you ever think about what it would have been like with us?
What, had we stayed together? If I'm honest, I do. But then I think about how happy I am, and I am really glad that I left your ass.
Damn, that's cold. But you really happy?
I am. I'm on the road, and sometimes I do get lonely, but overall, I'm good.
So why are you in town?
Because I needed to take care of some business. I had some property I needed to sell. I had some stuff in storage that I needed to get rid of. And there's one other thing that I need to do, and then I'm flying out here tomorrow.
So tonight is your last night in town?
It is.
Let me ask you this. Am I a part of that old business?
That all depends.
On?
Listen, I am not about breaking up any happy homes. And when I came to Atlanta, I did not know that you were engaged. And do you love him?
I mean, if I don't?
Then I expect to see you at my room by 9. So that is so dope, man. Like, you're doing so much. I love that. You are a husband. You are preparing to be a father.
Yes.
Man, you are inspiring, blessed. Man. Yes, you are.
Yes. I'm so grateful for every single thing that goes right and wrong in my life.
Not wrong, challenging.
Yeah. The challenges make me stronger and definitely prepare me for that next level. You know, I feel like it's like boosting me up, and I'm so grateful. You know, the album is coming out on my birthday, December 13th.
Yes.
And I just, man, like, I can't say it enough. I thank every person and you as well for support over the years. Just the same way we talked about earlier, like, I didn't have someone that I identified with growing up. So it was very challenging to figure out my path forward, you know, and I'm grateful that I can be a person that somebody can look at. You know, just a lot of stuff I say I do for little me, and that's why in the visual I did do it, because it's so like cute. When you're trying to save all of these people, when really you're just trying to save yourself. Is the storyline of your visual, is that a true story? So it's loosely based on my life. Okay. It's loosely based on my life. Because I heard you talk about your mom. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know. Oh no, my mom didn't. Oh, okay. So when my parents, it's
yeah. So but it's loosely based.
Yeah, it's loosely based.
Yeah, because when Keyshawn was like, "Your mother left us," I was like, "Oh my God, poor Larry." That makes sense. That makes sense. Wow.
My sister texted me and was like, I guess mom is okay with it because they watched it. She was like, I guess that lady with the suitcase is supposed to be me.
But it was so well shot, so well explained. Yeah, it was everything that I think people are really going to be surprised when they see it. And the link for that visual special will actually be under this video.
Thank you.
So people will be able to automatically see it. Larry, you are welcome here anytime, bro. And I'm so grateful that we got a chance to build a level of friendship, outside of this, because it just makes having these conversations
easier.
Yeah.
Like you know each other.
Definitely. So listen, everybody, make sure you take time and you follow this young man on social media. He is on Instagram.
Phylle, fix your life. No, I'm just playing.
That's good. But you're on Instagram.
I am. Phylle World. Phylle World.
And are you on Twitter?
I am. Same name.
Okay. Now, for all y'all who follow me on Twitter, y'all know his Twitter is not like my Twitter.
No.
So
it is not. So you'll be sadly disappointed if that's what you're expecting.
but very interesting and very empowering as well. I think that you would really enjoy following him on social media, and we definitely have to talk again. We will use your music in some of our upcoming projects. We know less than 30 seconds. Because they will get you like, did you talk to Phylle? He was just on the show. Yeah. But no, but we will definitely support you however we can. And in 2021, hoping that you go back on tour.
Yes.
And when you do, definitely would love to see you back on tour again because you're a great performer.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm really grateful. Thank you for your support.
No problem, man. Well, listen, everybody. Make sure you follow us on all social media. Thank you for watching another episode with Mike Hurd with the Word. We'll see you later. Bye, everybody.